And good morning. It's 7:04 on this Wednesday, March 2nd. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello, everybody. We welcome you on this Wednesday, and it's another beautiful day going for us. We're happy to be talking for Cedarstone Bank this morning, and Bob McDonald's here. Bob is the president and chief executive officer. Good morning.
Good morning.
And how is your coffee today?
Great. So far, so good. Stopped by the Cedarstone Cafe before I came in this morning to see you.
Well, I'm drinking out of a Cedarstone Cafe cup.
I see
but
it.
It's our coffee here.
I like it. I like the cup. I see you have your pen.
I have my right pen.
And then you've got your green folder.
Yes.
Susan told me when she learned that I didn't join you in person in studio last week when I called in, like I've done. And I told her about you and Uncle Pete kind of getting on me and betting against me whether I was going to make it or not. And she said, you've got to start getting in there and not let them make fun of you like that. So here I am. And
well, there's one thing about it. When you're alive and doing what we're doing and we're not scripted and liable to say anything, at least it gets people talking about it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just glad I'm a topic of conversation, and I'm glad that I can't remember who won the bet last week, but
he said he did.
Okay, he did. Well, so I guess he can get some fresh vegetables whenever you have them, and then whenever you win the bet, he can bring you a sausage and biscuits
something like that. That's how to do it. Well, I know you're glad to see. And by the way, it's March 1st. I noticed you don't have a coat on.
It's exactly.
Actually, it's March 2nd.
Yeah, yesterday was March 1, and as you know from the calendar of Bob McDonald's, it's the first day of spring. And it came in a great way with warm weather and clear skies.
Yep. Well, it's this is a nice week, and it sure beats 2 years ago.
It does indeed, and it can still sneak up on us. We've had snow and freezing rain in April before. As you well know. So, but it's still the first day of spring yesterday.
And it's still the coatless Bob McDonald.
Yes, I put certain things up. It's just a principle of mine, and so again, it might snow sometime in April when I'm here, but I won't be wearing that overcoat.
All right. Well, what are you wearing financially?
Well,
how's that for a question?
I like that. That's very good. Here we are in the final month of the first quarter.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe the year's moving by rather quickly, it seems, and the year is off to a good start. Of course, we've had these, I think you would call it unexpected circumstances with Russia and Ukraine and the impact that's having on the stock market. It's very volatile right now. You and I have been talking about that, and 500 and 800 point swings in any given day, and it will stabilize. And I'm sure when you have our friend Bill Bryson on next, and he talks more about, whenever he's on next, he'll talk more about the market, but I'm sure he would tell you that volatility is part of it and that it'll settle down, and at least that's our expectation. We've been expecting and still do expect the Federal Reserve to increase rates when they meet in 2 weeks. I believe it's the 15th and 16th, so they're expected to raise rates. There's been a little bit of question about will these international events impact their interest rate increasing strategy, but most economists seem to think that it will not. There's still some fundamental issues in the economy in spite of what's going on internationally that would require an increase in rates.
If you had to pick and guess what the amount, 0.25%?
I think they're going to do a half.
A half.
I think they'll do a half. We had a bank board committee meeting yesterday. It meets each quarter, and it focuses on it. We spend the entire time talking about interest rates and the impact it'll have on the bank in terms of deposit rates and loan rates and those types of things. And our economist who joins us on the phone, he talked about how that when you survey economists, some expect as little as 4 interest rate increases this year, as many as 7 interest rate increases. They're more on the 4 interest rate increases this year. So we'll probably see a half a point bump here in a couple of weeks, and then we might see a few more as we move into the summer. But again, Coleman, I still want to make sure everyone understands that and realizes that we're still, even with that, we're still in historically low interest rates. Mortgage rates, the 30-year fixed rate is up about a full point from where it was about 60 or 90 days ago. What was once a 3% rate's now 4%.
Yeah.
Still a good rate, isn't it?
Right. Oh,
So,
yes.
But the economy's moving along fine. Unemployment is low, and consumer spending is up. And of course, the increase in gas prices might have a little impact on consumer sentiment, as they call it. But again, hopefully those things will stabilize in the coming months.
Well, for anyone who doesn't have free checking, today would be a good day to get started with it.
It's always a good day for that, and it remains the cornerstone of our bank. Coleman's a very important product. We all need it, no matter our age or who we are. We still need a free checking account, free checks, free online banking with bill pay. You can come in and see us. You can do all your banking via technology, which we have great technology. And some say that our online banking is the easiest that they've seen. So we invite your listeners who don't currently bank with us to come in and talk to us.
Hey, I can do it. If I can do it, they can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt.
It's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. You've heard that.
Yeah.
But I enjoy banking on the internet.
Well, you're
with you.
Well, we're talking off air as we wrap up here. You and I both had a birthday in January, and I'm catching up with you. I think you've stopped aging, but I continue to age. You look terrific. You really do.
Well, thank you.
Good to be with you, Coleman.
Send you your check will be in the mail.
Thanks.
Bob McDonald, he's President and CEO, Cedarstone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson. Simple banking, simply better. We're about 11 minutes after the hour as we get started with our guests this morning. One who has been sitting quietly here, and the other one that is just arriving. And I won't let people know which one's which. But Morgan Beatty, good morning.
Good morning.
It's nice to see you from the UT Extension office.
You too.
All right, and Leah Piper is with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, all right. What's March done for you so far?
Oh, well, it's just started, but we're getting ready to fire up some more of our contests and practice groups, so it's going to be busy.
Well, Morgan, what's new with you?
Allergies.
What?
I said allergies. March has brought allergies. But in the 4-H world.
Well, it's nice to see both of you here today. I will say this, it's very rare over the years, and we've been doing a program almost from the beginning with somebody from the UT Extension office, all the way back to John Baker, who you probably never even met. But
Oh, I met him.
okay, but I don't usually know for sure, almost never know who's coming, but there's somebody that's always here, and I appreciate that. So it's good to see you both. Well, you want to get us started, Leah?
Oh, sure. So our horse judging is starting up. We sent out signups for that last night, actually. So we're going to get fired up with that. Our contest is in April. So we're trying to get our practices scheduled and everything lined up. And our sewing classes started 2 weeks ago. So they'll be running through the spring. So we're firing everything up for our spring programs and hitting the ground running.
Well, I take it that it's maybe with the changes in COVID, it's not as strict as it was. Is that helped you?
Yes,
you a lot?
that has helped a lot.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. How about that, Morgan?
Oh, yeah, definitely. We had our chick chain meeting Monday night. All the parents of the kids who are doing chick chain. We've got 50 kids coming. They pick their chickens up. They're chicks. They're like 1-day-old chicks. They're going to pick them up next Wednesday at Edwards Feeds. We've got 50 kids signed up, and each of them are getting 25 sets of chicks. So there's a lot of chicks coming.
It's got to be an exciting time for these young people who do
Yes.
that. But
Yeah, it's
how
super
exciting
exciting.
is it for you?
It's very enjoyable.
Yeah, it's one of our favorite days of the year, honestly. We get to go sit at Edwards Feeds for like the entire day and play with all the little like day-old chicks. And they're cute. They're like little and fluffy and loud.
Well, what part does Tim Edwards play in this other than providing a place?
Yeah, they provide the place, but they order our chicks for us. So that's like takes a huge stress off of us. So that's a good partnership for us for, and they provide a lot. They come to our meeting. They came to our meeting Monday night, and so did the co-op. And they they bring some examples of things that parents can buy or families can buy, like brooders and feeders and stuff like that, so that people can kind of get prepared. So it's really
okay.
good.
Well, I want to talk more about this, and it's time for us to take a break. So let's take our break, and more coming up on Coleman and Company FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. It's all brought to you by Bates Ford and the Works Vehicle Checkup to make sure your vehicle is ready for any road. $49.95 up to 5 quarts oil, tax and disposal. Tire rotation, safety check too. 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Trying to clear up a couple of different wrecks out here. Both are westbound 24. One's closer to Briley. The other one's near Harding Place. All this is doing is just aggravating all this heavy traffic that's trying to get up through here in from Rutherford County. Again, it's running slow as they clear up this wreck on 24 westbound, especially here at Briley. Traffic's really busy now. Trying to get out of Clarksville. That's been slow go on 24 east headed towards Nashville. Warmer weather, it's waiting for you right now in Pensacola Beach. Book your next getaway. Log on to PensacolaBeach.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
This is Bob McDonald with Cedarstone Bank. For 17 years now, we've been serving our communities in Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and Donaldson. We can serve you in the way that best fits your needs. We have all the banking technology, we have beautiful buildings, but more importantly, we have great people. On behalf of our board of directors, I thank you for banking with us. If you don't currently bank with us, please come by and visit us in any of our locations. It would be our pleasure to talk with you about how simple banking is simply better.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on a compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
What is your passion? How can you use that passion to enrich your community? Hi, this is Melanie Minter, President and CEO of the Lebanon-Wilson County Chamber of Commerce. Your chamber is the resource for making connections to fulfill your passion. Whether education, nonprofit, agriculture, entertainment, or government relations, Wilson County offers a place for you to be involved. Your chamber connects businesses, individuals, and your passion to the community. We have an enthusiasm for excellence. Join us and catch the spirit. Call or visit our office at 149 Public Square in Lebanon.
But now it is. Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us here on this Wednesday morning. This is the 2nd of March, and we have Leah Piper and Morgan Beatty with us from the UT Extension Office. They're both involved with 4-H work, and we were talking about this chicken program. That's a 4-H thing, right?
Yeah, it's called the
people
Chick
have
Chain.
that as their project in 4-H. Mm-hmm. And how many, when did you say that they're going to be picking them up?
They're going to be picking them up next Wednesday on the 9th.
Okay. All right. A week from today.
Yeah.
How many, do you know right now, how many different people are going to be participating?
There's 50 4-H members. So
Are
50
you
families.
limited to that, or?
Yeah, we have to order ahead of time. So we have an application and the first 50 that sign up. And what we do is we try to keep it, like 50 per household. So we've got some siblings. So there's 50 families. There's some of those are sibling sets that are going to be working together.
Okay.
So
Did
probably more
you
than 50.
do this once upon a time?
No, I didn't.
No.
I did not. I actually did not know much about chickens before I started
What about
this
you,
program.
Leah?
No, I always wanted to, but my parents said no, chicken stinks. So,
So both of you have had to learn a little bit on the job then.
yes.
Yeah, we both learned a lot about chickens.
But it's an exciting time for these youngsters, and especially the first time they do that, right?
Yeah, it's really exciting. They get really excited because they're cute and little. It's really funny. I'll tell you what's really exciting is when we first have the application and we're taking them into our school clubs and such. And we're like, all right, who's interested in chickens? And all those little hands shoot up. And it's funny too, because sometimes, they're all like, when you first say, who wants some chickens? Like every kid in the class is like, I want chickens. Which every kid in the class probably can't have chickens, depending on where they live. But
yeah, okay, but there's a lot of responsibility with this.
Yes.
I mean, you're responsible for 50 young baby chicks.
25. They're going to get 25 in there.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. We got 50 different people, but 25. Each one of them gets 25.
That's still a lot, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's still a lot of chickens.
But you've got to care for them. You've got to feed them. You've got to
provide housing. Those first 5 or 6 weeks are really important because they're so little. They need heat and they need some light so they can see where their water and feeder is and all of that. So it's really important. That's the number one cause of them not making it the first few weeks is that they're just not warm enough. Or you give them water that's too cold and it like shocks them. Oh. So yeah, you have to have like heat is the first. So those first few weeks, a lot of people are keeping them like in their garage and their bathtubs and stuff like that.
What happens when they lose one or two of them? And
it's going to happen a little.
That happens to nearly everybody, doesn't it? I mean,
yeah, someone's going to lose. At least someone's going to lose a couple here or there. It's just kind of circle of life.
They take that happen. Okay.
I think so. I'm not there to see that, so I don't.
What do you think about all this, Leah?
Well, I thoroughly enjoy it, and after doing it last year, I decided I was going to get some chickens. So now I have chickens, and it's very fun. But yeah, we both look forward to it.
Yeah.
Every year.
Well, I was telling you during the break, my grandmother Norton she bought her baby chickens from Edwards Hatchery. It was in existence back 100 years ago. Well, not hardly that long, but anyway. And she would raise maybe 100 or so and keep some of them. Some of them we would eat when they got big enough to be fried chicken and all that good stuff. But Edwards Hatchery's been doing all this kind of thing for a long time. And you were mentioning, and this is something else we talk about here. I mean, when they want to do this, a lot of these children, and how old are most of these? So they're in the
4th through 12th grade, but I would say the majority are like 4 through 8th.
So
maybe.
They probably don't realize what they're obligating themselves for. I mean,
some of them don't. Yeah,
you have to. There's certain. You got to be able to take care of them. Like you said, you got to have a heat and all of this. But probably there's some things that their parents maybe need to buy.
Yeah. There's some supplies that they're definitely going to have to. The first few weeks they're going to have some sort of like brooder set up. It doesn't have to be expensive or elaborate, but it's got to like protect them from the draft and from being too drafty, and it's got to give them enough heat and light and all of that. So yeah, there's a little bit of setup that they're going to have.
You got any funny stories to relate about these? I mean, they do. The children, if they don't know, they'll learn right quick that the chickens can be messy, and you have to watch where you walk sometimes and all of that. You got it right.
Yeah, I would say the funniest thing because last year was my first, because of COVID, my first year actually seeing the full process of chick chain. And we got to have our show with everybody there. And I was warned ahead of time, you'll know who handles their chickens and who won't. And that is a very accurate statement because quite a few of them were running around the Ag Venture barn at the Ag Center and watching little kids dive for them right and left to try to catch them was pretty entertaining. So that's my favorite story about chick chain. Yeah.
That's the bit we hadn't talked about yet. They've got to bring 6 of those chickens back to our poultry show in July.
Yeah.
So we give them 25. They have to bring 6 back. So the 6 that they bring back are a part of our show and our auction. We auction them off.
All right, and if 19 of those 25 survive, they're theirs to do whatever they want.
Yep, they end up with 19 chickens. But we always have a few of those 50 families. There will be a handful that'll be like, please take all of my chickens. I have discovered I don't like chickens.
Well, what do you do then?
We'll let somebody, we get people all year round calling, wanting chickens, 4-H chickens. So they will sell them to somebody. And then we'll have a few that this will be their first year that they will stick with it until 9th grade. Like Brandon Shrum, like they are really excited about chickens. They decide that is their thing.
12th grade.
And then, they'll stick with it all the way through 12th grade and then go on to college and study chickens.
Okay.
One of our kids is done.
But this has been a very successful program, and I think it's been going for a long time.
Very long time,
A lot longer than you've been there, actually.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It was, we've talked about it before, but my dad was here a long time ago, and I'm in his position that he was when he was here, and it was going on before he was here, and that was in the 80s. So...
Well,
it's been a long time.
Do you have? We've talked about Edwards Hatchery and Tim Edwards. Is anybody else that is a part of this that you might want to mention, or you don't?
Yeah, we mentioned the co-op. I think they are also super helpful because the co-op gives them a coupon for a bag of feed that they can get at the co-op, and they can also get their bag of feed from a free bag of feed from Edwards too. So they're going to start off with two bags of feed.
Okay. Well, that's good. We got Edwards Hatchery and the Wilson Farmers Co-op and a successful program. What else do we need to talk about? That's I guess that's something that I even know a little bit about and like to talk about, and it's got to be an exciting time, and especially for those who are doing this for the first time. And y'all get to, now that you're familiar with it a little bit, get to laugh at them a little bit, but help them at the same time.
Yes.
It's fun for everybody. What else is going on?
Well, our sewing group, like I said, we started up 2 weeks ago, and next week is spring break, so we're not meeting. But we are doing a service project, and we're partnering with Quilts of Valor. They're an organization, I think it's Quilts of Valor. But they're an organization that makes quilts for veterans or servicemen that are deployed, and they will send that out. So we have some 4-H members who are signed up for that, and we're going to work on making a Quilt of Valor. And we work with a lady named Ginger Fondren from Mount Juliet, and she's our Quilt of Valor representative. So we're excited about doing that service project and giving back for those who protect us.
Yeah. Can you add to that?
Or we've got livestock judging has started last night, had their first meeting to get ready for their...
You like that?
Yeah. I do like, we have a really good livestock judging team. They have their regional contest is in April. This past year, the year before this, I took last fall a group of girls that were on our livestock judging team to one of the national contests. We went to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and they finished in the top 10. But that's really something to be able. That's the third or fourth time since I've been here that we've had a team go to one of the national contests. So it's really something to be able to say that you went to a national livestock judging contest.
Well, I wonder, there are a lot of available things to do, projects or whatever you might call them. But I would think it pretty much has to be something that people are really interested in. Something that really gets them going. I mean, if they're really into livestock judging or really into raising baby chicks or whatever. But I mean, you have to find a good niche for them where they really want to excel, don't you?
Oh yeah, for sure. And that's the thing.
That's probably not easy to do.
No, it's not. And that's the exciting thing about 4-H is there's 27 project areas that our state 4-H focuses on. We don't have active programs necessarily in all 27 areas, but all 27 areas are out there. So if we had, just all of a sudden this year, a whole bunch of interest in one particular thing that we don't offer, it's something that could be possibly offered. Typically are like the chickens and the livestock and the sewing and arts and crafts are kind of like our main focus areas anyway from year to year. That tends to be what people are interested in this county anyway. But, there's a lot of opportunity out there.
I think what would be funny that you have about 8 or 10 that want to do something that's almost off the wall. I don't know whether you have anything that way or not. It's something that neither one of you knew anything about, and you got to be their leader, and you've got to do a lot of homework.
It'd be like something like entomology, probably.
Yes.
We have this random entomology project. It's hard to.
Would you love that?
Entomology is not my strong point. I'm not saying I wouldn't do it if needed, but it's not. Me and bugs don't necessarily click the best. So,
Or beekeeping. It's beekeeping and entomology. The beekeeping part.
well,
would
the
be
beekeeping
interesting.
part would be fine.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, 4-H is alive and well, and we've got you two who are doing, I think, a fine job. And we got about 30 seconds. I was going to mention Lucas this morning. Lucas, you're the county director. Is he okay?
I guess.
Chugging right along.
Yeah.
Well, he's a
We think so.
hoot whenever we have him as well.
I bet he is. I bet that's a fun program. He's a great personality.
Thank you all for being with us.
And thank you.
Appreciate it very much. Leah Piper and Morgan Beatty with the UT Extension Office there in charge of 4-H. And that's part one of Coleman and Company. Keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Absolute Kubota Red Max. Complete inventory of weed eaters, blowers, hedge trimmers for the commercial user and homeowner with up to a 4-year warranty. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Trying to clear up two separate wrecks south of town on 24 westbound. One's near Harding Place, the other one's near Briley. The one causing the biggest slowdown right now is trying to get past this one here on 24 westbound at Briley. Again, it's really slow. All that traffic coming in from Rutherford County. Still very heavy coming in from the west side. 40 east up through Kingston Springs. Gatlinburg Wine Cellar, home of the world-famous cotton candy wine. Check them out at GatlinburgWineCellar.com. I'm Commander Chuck, your on-time traffic.
Today's forecast calls for lots of sunshine and temperatures in the low 70s, so nothing to slow down in the weather department. On Thursday, more sunny weather is on the way with highs in the low 70s once again. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's Look at Your Forecast. I'm meteorologist TJ Scott.
Coleman and Company, it is a Wednesday. This is March the 2nd, and we welcome you to part two of our program. And Philip Atherley joins us as he does each Wednesday to talk about Absolute Rental and Supply, located on West Main Street here in Lebanon, 1325 West Main, and the phone number there, 615-443-RENT. Good morning.
Now, Coleman, you had to put your glasses on to see the address, but you knew the phone number, so that's a good thing.
I was pretty sure, but I messed it up one time, and I don't want to do it again.
That's all right. That's all right.
1325.
1325.
You've been there for 20 and a half years.
Yep, a little over 20 years now. And
now, wait a minute. Was it 20 last June?
Yes, 20 last year. So it'll be 21 this year.
Right,
yeah,
20,
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you've been doing a lot of things right, but we say this about somebody if they're in business a good length of while. Well, they're doing something right. 20 years, you've been doing a lot right.
Well, we've had our mistakes. Don't think I haven't stubbed my toe several times, but anyway, we're just very appreciative. I love the business. I think it's good business, and it's a good opportunity to serve people and serve people in different ways all the time. It's not just one thing, not attaching A to B, and that's what you do all day. There's always something different in the rental business.
Well, and that's why you came up with the expression, and you had everything from wallpaper steamers to bulldozers, and that's not too much an exaggeration.
It's not. We do have all those equipment, but there's occasionally things we don't have. But anyway, we'll try to get them if we can. And there's things like we laughed about during the snow. No, we don't have snow blowers, and I don't really anticipate buying any because I've lived here all my life, and most of the time it's gone within a day anyway.
Right.
So
yeah. But the weather, I know when you you had to just be elated when you saw the weather forecast for this week that we're supposed to not have any rain. It's going to warm up and the sun's going to shine. I'll bet you've been busier than a one-arm paper.
We've been very busy, and like I say, if you do need something, especially in the dirt moving or earth moving equipment, please give us a call. We'll see if we can make a reservation. But I know there's a lot of items that are out right now, and what we're finding now a lot of times is people people are renting things for a week and a month. And during those time periods, and when that happens, like we've got maybe 3 track skid steer loaders now that are out for a month. And that really puts you in a bind where you're used to a certain daily flow. And so we're trying to take care of everybody.
Well, that's less work for you in one way, and you're making money all the time that's out. But on the other hand, it does create some problems for some people who want one, and maybe you can't provide.
It really does, because we have so many people that are accustomed to being able to come get them for those half days or dailies during the course of the week, and then all of a sudden you get some stuck out there. It puts us in a difficult position, but we normally can handle it, kind of move things around, make sure we get everybody covered.
Well, I guess you might want to mention the pre-emergent, even though.
Yep, there again, right now is a great time to get in there and get your pre-emergence down. A lot of people are already doing their aeration as well. There's a gentleman this morning came in first thing wanting an aerator. So the ground's in great shape right now to be able to do that. It's not frozen, and so now's a great time. But any of those lawn applications, mulch, our pine straw, I can't tell you how many. I would say that so far this week we've probably already sold 500 to 600 rolls of pine straw. It's just been crazy. So everybody's getting in that spring deal. Let's get everything cleaned up. So, we have some products that go along. The pine straw, the fertilizers that goes along with our rental equipment, the aeration and the bed edgers and all that kind of stuff.
Well, it's always good if you can get everything at one place or nearly everything, and that's you've tried to have your place be as much a one-stop destination as possible, I think.
We really do. And like I say, our landscape contractor business is huge. The homeowners come in and get their mulches. We really cater to that. That's one of the areas we really try to cater to.
Okay, what about your hours?
Right now we're open from 7 to 5, Monday through Friday, 7 to 4 on Saturdays. Once daylight savings time kicks back in, we'll start staying open till 6. So Monday through Friday. And then still same hours on Saturday, 7 to 4.
Well, once again, we need to mention, and I tried, and sometimes I forget to say this because I've got your phone number here, but your website, absoluterental.com, absoluterental.com. You can go there, see the entire inventory that you have, see what your price is for 4 hours or half a day. Well, that's half a day or a day or whatever.
Yep.
But then after you do that, you call and make your reservation. And the sooner you can call and plan, the better it helps you. It helps them too. 615-443-RENT.
That sounds great.
All right. Yeah. Anything else before you leave us?
No, just give us a call. Like I said, we'd be glad to help you out, whatever kind of needs you have.
All right, and we appreciate you, and hope you have a great week, and we'll talk about it again next Wednesday.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Philip Etherly, Absolute Rental and Supply, and again, that phone number, 615-443-RENT. Well, it's time for my guest for part 2, and he's one of my regulars, and that would be Mayor Rick Bell from the city of Lebanon. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. I tell you, it's great to see the warmer weather and the sunshine.
It is. The days are lasting longer, and it's always good to have light out there and it's not rain.
Well, now let's see. Was it 2 weeks ago? I guess it was. Whenever it was your turn here, and you weren't here.
I was not.
And Sarah Haston came, and we said that she was. Let's see, that you were on assignment. That's what we coined that from Judge Tatum. That's what he said about me when I'm not here. So anybody, if they're not where you normally have them, they're on assignment, special assignment.
I was on a special.
I want to know about your special assignment.
Well, I was on a special assignment 2 weeks ago. My wife Nicole decided that we need to take a few days away. So I took a few vacation days. It was President's Day that next Monday, extended weekend. So we took a few extra days and went out of town and had some time to relax and kind of recharge.
Well, you want to tell us where you went, or is that a secret?
It's not a secret. We went to Arizona. That's one of our favorite parts of the country, and we went out there and we did some hiking and ate some food and just kind of relaxed and, as I said, recharged, and we had a really good time out there.
Was the weather pretty warm?
It was. It was sunshiny and 80 degrees, and
that's warm.
Yeah, and it's a place that my parents used to go every year and every winter, and so several years ago they kind of started us in that habit of going out there, and it's a place we enjoy. In years past, we've gone, during that week right after Christmas and right before New Year's, but this time we went in February, and it was really great.
Well, I guess to get away and relax, and maybe time to think a little bit too, reflect on what we've done, where we're going, how good we've done, what we've done, and all this kind of thing. Is that kind of what this is? Or do you just forget it all and go have fun?
No, I don't forget it all. I can promise you that. And, it's different. It is time off, to be able to, hike up a mountain and be able to, kind of look at the scenery and really appreciate nature. And it's a different kind of nature out there. It's desert. So, but we think it's beautiful. But, what's funny, I was on top of a mountain. We were hiking up a hill, and I got a phone call, and it was from Chief Mike Justice, and something was going on. He needed to ask me a question. And so it's not like I was away. I was still the mayor, and I was still in connection with people, still texting and calling and emailing. But it was just, doing it somewhere else. But it does give you a chance to really reflect on where we've been and really think about on where we're headed. And, I think it's good to take a few days and recharge. And, as mayor, I'm not one of these people who's going to take off and be gone all the time. But take a few days here and there. I think that's healthy.
Well, I'm glad you had a good time, and I'm glad you were willing to tell us a little bit about it this morning.
Yeah.
We had a meeting last night. Any big news out of last night's meeting?
Yeah, it was. It was a big meeting last night. We had a public hearing on a couple of rezonings and annexations that a lot of people came out to talk about. And, one of the things I told them last night was, we like when people come and talk to us. We really do, and express their opinions and express their concerns and ideas. And last night, people came out from two different parts of the city and shared their thoughts. And, that's part of the system. The city council and I, we represent people, but we need to hear from people. And we were able to do that last night. One annexation rezoning was out on Coles Ferry Pike, right there next to Coles Ferry Village. There was a piece of property that actually the city already surrounds. And a developer was looking to turn that into a subdivision. And that's in Councilor Joy Carmack's ward. And I want to commend Joy for the work he's done over the past several months, because the first plan that came in that he looked at, simply wasn't going to work. It was too high dense for that area, and the neighbors, they spoke out about that. But Joey was able to work with the neighbors and work with the developer to put something together that's going to work for everyone. And it's a RS12 neighborhood is what it's going to be if it passes on second reading, and that matches Coles Ferry Village, which is right next to it. So when you can match the neighborhood right next door, that's what we're looking for. Something that's not going to change the area. Obviously, more people are going to be living there, but it's going to be the same thing. And so Joy has worked hard over the past couple of months to make sure that happened. But a lot of people came from that area last night for a couple of reasons. One, to thank Joy for the work he's done, because they've been in that process with him. But also, to really talk about growth and what they see in Lebanon and things like that as well. So that's something that passed on first reading. And Joy, he led that effort. And
was it unanimous?
It was unanimous.
Yeah,
it was unanimous for that one. The other one was out on Central Pike, south of town. Out there, there's a lot of industrial development, and there was annexation out there for some more industrial buildings. And that's the area out there just south of Wilson Central. That next, right out there across the exit. And there are people who live out there on Central Pike out in the county who came out and really expressed their concerns about that, about the traffic and about, the encroachment of that development as well. And, we appreciate them too, because we know what we do here also affects people who live along our borders, out in the county. They don't vote in the city and they don't have representation on the council, but they are part of our community. So, that's something important as well. That was out in Ward 4. Which is Chris Crowell's area. It did pass first reading last night. It did not pass unanimously, but it does require two. And one of the things that Chris said last night on this was that, any time that we annex whatever it is, there needs to be a benefit for the city. We have to know that this is just not another development, that this is something that's going to add to us. and he really charged the developer in the next 2 weeks to prove to him how are you going to be a benefit to the city. And I think the reason he made motion to approve it last night was if they are able to come up with that in the next 2 weeks, it's not a delay to it. If he deferred it or voted against it, that would have been a different path forward. But he decided, let's give them 2 more weeks to see if they can really prove to us that they're going to be a benefit. Now, in the next 2 weeks, if they don't, it may be a different outcome. But right now, it's on that path.
Was that a unanimous vote? Or?
It was not. It was not. It was 5-1. But and those 2 issues really bring to mind something that we think about a lot. It's something I thought about when I was in Arizona. Is how are we going to grow in the future? What city are we going to be? And as we've talked about here a lot, in the past year we put a lot of plans in place to try to make sure that we manage this and we have some controls over it. We put together our comprehensive plan, our future land use plan. Last night, a gentleman, talked about townhouses and apartments. And if you remember last year, we put some new regulations on townhouses. Mm-hmm. And what a lot of people didn't realize was in those same regulations, it included apartments as well. And since then, we've really seen a slowdown of those types of developments since those new regulations been put in. Now, there were some things that were passed before that hadn't been built yet, so we're still trying to work out of that cycle. But the new regulations have been put in. I really think that people are going to see a difference.
Okay, Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell is here. It's time for us to take a break, and we'll talk more in a moment here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford and that regular oil change, $28.95 up to 5 quarts of oil, tax and disposal. 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. We're still seeing heavy and slow traffic here on 24 westbound, trying to get past Harding Place. All that traffic coming in from Rutherford County. We did have a couple of wrecks up here earlier that triggered all these backups here on 24 westbound, trying to get up through the Hickory Hollow area. Gatlinburg Wine Cellar is home of the world-famous cotton candy wine. Check out all their flavors by logging on to GatlinburgWineCellar.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
This is Philip Etherly with Absolute Rental and Supply. Whether it's cleaning, painting, remodeling, or simply getting better organized, we have the tools and equipment to get the job done. Scaffolding, paint sprayers, ladders, power saws, portable heaters, temporary lighting, generators, hardwood floor staples, from wallpaper steamers to bulldozers, Absolute Rental has what you need. Call 615-443-RENT. Absolute Rental and Supply. We have what you need.
Phoenix baseball team hits the road again this weekend, traveling to Portsmouth, Ohio, to historic Branch Rickey Park to take on the Shawnee State Bears in a crucial 3-game Mid-South Conference weekend series. First game on Friday begins at 2 o'clock with pregame at 1:40. Saturday's doubleheader starts at 11 with pregame at 10:40. Stay tuned to WANT FM 98.9, WCOR AM 1490, GoCrumblinAthletics.com, or WANTFM.com for all the action. Go Phoenix.
It's tax time, and Cars Unlimited Tax Service is locally owned and has 33 years of experience in preparing taxes. They advance loans of up to $6,000. They're also an authorized IRS e-file provider. Call 615-449-2955 or stop by 1006 West Main Street in Lebanon. Cars Unlimited Tax Service stands ready to help you prepare your taxes. Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. Our final segment here for a Wednesday morning. Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell. All right, we've spent most of our time here talking about a couple of things that were passed last night. This was actually rezoning. Is that the?
Well, actually, they were rezonings and annexations.
Oh, rezoning and annexations. So we're actually. You're adding a little bit to the few square feet to the city.
Well, so far it's just first reading, so it's not official yet. But the one on Coles Ferry Pike actually, as I said earlier, it's a piece of property that through the years got surrounded by the city, so it's already in the city. It just wasn't part of the city.
Okay.
So that's one that's completely surrounded by the services, and that's not a big stretch to annex that one. We start adding on the edges of the city. That's when you start talking about. extending our services and things like that. So,
Right.
so they were similar, but they were different as well.
Well, there were some others, weren't there?
There were. Those were the big ones.
Yeah.
There were a few other ones.
I did look at the agenda that you said,
I
and
know you did, yeah.
There were several on there, but I didn't.
One of the other ones was like a couple acre piece of property out on Leeville Pike, out towards the 109 area, and it was another one that was that's surrounded by the city as well. So that's one that passed on first reading too, and that was. So that's one that really doesn't have much of an impact, and so that one's pretty simple. But one other thing that happened on the agenda last night that I think is really important is that the council approved the bid process for the Carver Lane traffic signal, and we've talked about that a lot here, and that's something that people ask us a lot about. So I do have details on that I want to share with people because that's something people have been waiting on for a long time. But last night, the city council did approve starting the bid process. The advertisement is going out today, and then the bid opening is actually going to be on March 23rd. And so we anticipate that city council will look at those bids at the 2 April meetings. And we don't know what the bids are, obviously, but the estimate is on construction of that red light is going to be $1.6 million. But I want people to also remember that that's going to be paid for by developers. Now, in this situation, we're going to pay for it up front, knowing that eventually we will get reimbursed as things happen. But that light's going to be up, in a matter of time now. In late April, we'll tell which contractor that they won the bid. And then when construction starts, we expect completion of that to be early 2023. So about a year from now, that light will be up and operating. And again, construction depends on things, weather and, of course, supply chain and stuff like that. But that is the timeline for that light. And I just wanted people to know that so they have an idea of when it's going to be up and that it has been a priority for us.
All right, now, Mayor, is this one of those situations where you have to order? There's a specific thing that you ordered.
It is. Now, it's been designed. So that's good, and so we know what it's going to look like, and the poles are the key. And if you go down if you drive down the street, all the poles look the same, but they're not. The poles have to be designed specifically for each intersection. So there's not like an assembly line. And so that's what makes it last so long, is getting those poles made and getting them installed. But I just want people to know that light is going to happen. The process has started. We've already been working on it, but now we're going to get into the hands of the contractor and actually put it up.
That seems like to an old fella like me an incredible amount of money. $1.6 million for traffic.
Well, obviously we have inflation, and that's one of the things that I've learned. I say all the time, I learn something new every day as mayor. But I've learned is what things cost. $1.6 million for a traffic signal. That's a lot of money. Sidewalks cost a lot of money. When I was on city council, I was told that a mile of sidewalk costs $1 million, and you would think it's concrete. How much can that be? But things cost money, and that's the reason that.
Well, of course, there's labor involved.
Absolutely. There's so many factors that go into it, but that's one of the things that that we're starting to look at now, because I think growth should pay for itself. Growth has caused the need for that red light and other red lights throughout town, and there's other aspects of infrastructure as well. And so that's one of the reasons that a few weeks ago, I asked the council to allow us to do an impact fee study to see if our impact fees really are where they need to be. Now, a few years ago, the impact fees were increased, but I want to make sure that's enough, and I also want to make sure those impact fees are going to the right places and doing the right things. And so we've started that process.
This is kind of making, in a way, this is helping at least to make growth pay for itself.
That's the point.
Yeah.
That's the point. And impact fees are a way to do that. Having people pay for traffic signals, have people pay for sidewalks, and all these things we have to do because it does cost money. And so if as much as developers can pay for, that obviously takes pressure off us and the taxpayers. And so we are also looking at the impact fees right now and seeing if we're in line and where we need to be on that. Right now I don't think we're in line. I think they need to be higher, and we'll see what the study tells us.
Well, if that study indicates that you're not, will there be legislation?
Then we'll start
going to propose, or somebody will.
Yeah, we'll put in front of the council that, hey, we need to make a change here.
What else from last night's meeting?
Well, I think those are really the highlights. There's a few other things I want to talk about. It was announced a few days ago that the Outlet Mall is going to be redeveloped.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people who asked questions about that. Right now, the Outlet Mall is not doing very well. It's about 6 stores out there. The current owner actually last year reached out to me to have a meeting about redeveloping it, and they wanted to make it a warehouse. And I said, no, we would never do that. That is a sales tax area that's right in the middle of town. That's a sales tax corridor for us, and we're not going to put a big industrial building right there. That just doesn't do us any good. So I think after that, they started trying to sell it. And the people who are purchasing it now want to turn it into a true mixed-use development with retail, with office space, with restaurants, but also residential as well.
All right, now let me ask you, has the transaction taken place? If they bought it, or is it?
I don't think they have. I think that they're waiting, for our approval first of the rezoning and things like that. But the Outlet Mall, obviously has been here for a couple of decades, and it started out great. It was something that Mayor Fox brought in, and for a long time, it was a great, great shopping destination for us. But
I think we could say it was somewhat of a jewel.
I think it was for a long time, but now things have changed. The world has changed. It's how people shop, and so this new developer's going to come in. I think they're going to do something great with it. I really do. But again, it's going to be people are going to live there, people are going to shop there, work there, and I think it's going to be something that's we're going to have a positive impact.
Well, from what you know about it so far, and the 6 members of the council, is everybody pretty much on the same page and in agreement with what he's wanting to do?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. And that's Camille Burdine's ward, and she's all for it. She's really been talking to him, I know, and working with him, and it's something that I think everybody's going to really see that's going to be a good thing for us.
Will we get as much sales tax revenue for the city with this change?
I think we'll get more than what we're getting now.
Okay.
Because really there's nothing going on out there. I drive through it every once in a while just to check on it, and my stepdaughter actually, when she's in town from college, she works at American Eagle, and she tells me, not many people come in, and so I think anything's going to be an improvement. Right. I really do.
Okay.
Also, we had an announcement last week about Chipotle is coming in town. That's a new restaurant, and it's something that's a very popular restaurant around the country. And I can tell you, when I was running for office and people talked to me and need more places to eat, and I said, well, what do you want? A lot of people said Chipotle. And so that's something that we're really excited about and looking forward to. It's going in front of Lowe's out on 231. And so that's something that we're adding to our restaurant collection. I do want people to know that we are working on other restaurants, sit down type restaurants and everything. So we work on that every day. And then on a more of a local announcement, we like locally owned businesses. We want those to prosper. And as we know, Claiborne's is opening back up next week.
Yeah.
Claiborne's 2.0, and Rick Smith and the Smith Family Bakery and Cafe. And so I want everybody to go out there and support them. And the donuts and the cakes are coming back.
All right. Can I ask a question?
Yes.
There's been a change in the relationship between the city of Lebanon and 911.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Well, first of all, I want to say this, that, I respect everyone who works in that field. The call takers of 911, our dispatchers, the dispatchers at the sheriff's office at WEMA, down in Mount Juliet, they all have high-pressure jobs. Several years ago, the city council spent $6 million on a internal dispatch communication system to improve and make our internal dispatch more efficient. And at some point, the fire department, after that was installed, shifted their dispatch to 911. Over the past year since I've been in office, I've studied that, had a lot of meetings about it with police, fire, 911, other agencies as well. And I found out that the only other agency in the city that gets dispatched by 911 is actually the Watertown Volunteer Fire Department. Sheriff, Weema, Mount Judith, they all dispatch themselves. So what happens is somebody calls 911, 911 transfers the call, and then those other agencies dispatch themselves. And that's something that the city of Lebanon did forever. We dispatched ourselves, but it changed. And so it was on a trial basis. And then about a month ago, 911 sent to us an interlocal agreement to make it official. I placed it on the city council agenda, and the city council at the work session discussed it and said, hey, they really want to go back to the way it was. And I agreed with them on that because I think, my job and their job is to make sure that the citizens of City of Lebanon are protected as best as possible. And we believe that happens when our police and our fire are working in conjunction and working as a team. And this $6 million system they bought made that happen, ensured that happened, that makes sure that our people arrive simultaneously, they arrive quickly, and they get there and they take care of people. And when that change took place with fire, it really affected that. It meant that sometimes the police didn't get the call. It meant that we were, not operating in conjunction with each other all that much. And so we really want to get back to where we're working as a team and everybody's working together and really helping people, in a very efficient way. And so that's what happened.
Well, I wish we had more time. Some other things I'd like to talk about, but we are out of time. In fact, we've already gone over.
Okay, sorry.
Thanks for being with us, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Okay,
All
see
right. Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell, that's it for a Wednesday, and until tomorrow, I wish you a wonderful day.